Hello.
Hi.
Hi. I just realized
It's
I
so
forgot
long.
to change my background.
Oh, that's okay. I like it. It's fine. See, this is what happens when we take like a couple days off. I don't know about you, but for me, when I take a couple days off, everything just like I don't know how to do anything anymore.
I don't, and then top it off with having to get a new laptop
Uh-huh. Yeah.
because my laptop was corrupted by something I downloaded from the internet, and yeah. So
Porn. No, it's not. Just kidding.
it
Anyway,
was not porn.
hi. Anyway,
You
hi.
know what I just learned about porn?
Oh, what's that?
You cannot watch porn in Florida.
You can't in Ohio now either, as of like yesterday.
I did not know that was a thing. How
Mhm.
come grown adults can't make their own decisions?
Wait, what?
Oh,
Yeah. My
well, you know
son
what? This is probably a topic for a different time.
Yeah, but my
Okay.
son just moved to Florida, and he let me know they had to get a VPN because you can't watch porn even as a 34-year-old male in
Yeah,
Florida.
yeah. You gotta like put in your ID and shit. No, thank you.
Okay.
No, thank you.
So
But
I did not
also,
know that.
you can. You just can't use certain sites. All right. It's the internet. That stuff has been around since like the beginning of the
I
internet.
know, but
Okay. Like, okay, sure, that's gonna make a difference. But anyway, we're not here.
we're not here for that.
We're not here for that. And look, we had an appearance by
I was
our
gonna say we had an
producer.
appearance.
Enough
And
shoes.
hello, Kathy. Hello, lady in gray. Motion to Scream is just popping in for a minute,
Oh, thank you.
but I'll
Hi,
have it on
babes.
replay. Hi.
Michael, tell me
Tell
a
you a
story.
story.
Well, we got a doozy
Oh,
for
we
you.
got a story for you. We
We
do
do.
have a story, but everyone, welcome to another episode of True Crime and Wine Time, the podcast where we dive into the most jaw-dropping true crime stories while sipping something smooth to take the edge off. And also, sometimes we go on rants. So if you're new here, I'll just tell you up front, be ready. There's rants. It happens. Okay.
Always.
So
Mhm.
pour a glass of wine, water, Dr. Pepper, whatever you're drinking, lock your doors, and let's uncork the truth behind some of the darkest crimes.
Yes. Yes. Hello, friends. Hello. Thanks for watching tonight. Now, before we begin, I think most of you know the drill by now, right? If you're watching us on YouTube, please hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss when we go live or drop an episode. You can also become a member, which comes with all sorts of exclusive perks. And you guys, the lowest tier is just 99 cents a month, and it comes with a new show, all sorts of stuff. All right, so be sure to check that out. All you got to do is click the join button and pick which tier works best for you. And if you're listening to this as a pod, please leave us a rating, a review, a download, whatever the platform needs to get our little pod noticed out there. And we appreciate you guys as well. Terry, so I heard you went on a little vacation this week to California. Did you have fun?
I did. I had a great time. I visited my boyfriend, and I even got to visit a couple of spots related to this case.
Ooh, all right. Let's share.
And it was exciting, to say the least.
I love that. Terry's California field trip.
Yes.
I love that. Okay. Well, tell us about it.
So I went to College Hills in Glendale, the site of that John Orr burned in June of 1990. But I also went to the firehouse. That is the
Okay.
Glendale Fire Station 42. What is hella interesting? Stay on this picture. See the background, the mountains behind it kind of area?
Yes.
The College Hills fire was close to that.
Oh.
It was close to that. So I went ahead and went over to see where the College Hills fire happened. So what a lot of people may not know about fires, if you're ever wondering how they get named, They're named by something significant in that area. The College Hills fire happened right near the campus of College Hill. So that's why
Interesting.
it was
I did not know that.
the College Hill fire.
I never thought about them naming fires. I guess it's because it's not really a thing here, but I never
If it's a
connected the
big
dots on this.
fire that they have to go
Yeah.
out and pull a lot of resources to, they name them even in other states, so
Mhm.
that way they can put it on record and know what to call it. You can't just say, "Oh, fire 26 that yada, yada, yada." They give them
Oh,
names.
okay.
They
But
give
not
them
cool,
names.
like hurricane names.
Yes, they're not
Okay.
cool. I
Also,
also
this,
yeah.
uh, fire department there, that's does not look like a typical fire department. Like, it
Oh,
doesn't even look like a truck would fit in there.
guys,
That's
I went
interesting.
by it 4 times and kept U-turning and was like, "Oh my god, Google Maps, you are so
Right,
freaking stupid. Why can I not find it?" It's right next to houses,
right? It doesn't even look like a truck could fit in
and
there,
it's
but
across
I
from a
like the
park, and I had
lights.
shared the picture of the park because I was like, "It's right across from a park in a neighborhood." So, right there, that is right by the fire station.
Okay.
But how they fit those fire trucks up that little curving drive, they have some really good drivers is all I'm saying.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I was going to go and knock on the door at the fire station,
Hmm.
but when because I had to pay for parking next
Oh.
to it and walk over, so yes, I had to pay for parking. Walked over and you see a big yellow Hummer there.
Mm.
And then there was
Wow.
a brand new Corvette there. I got a little bit intimidated because I was like, "Are the higher level fire captains here? Is, like, the mayor here?"
Mhm.
Fire that's not regular firefighters' vehicles.
Oh, no, not here either.
Not here. So I
No.
did not go and knock on it. But, I did do a little grand finale. I did make a video. Oh, there is the Ace Hardware. So that was the home of Ollie's, where the
Oh.
4 people died.
Oh, wow.
Ollie's went out
Okay.
of business.
Mm.
So they rebuilt and they went out of business and Ace Hardware took over.
Oh, wow. That's like the biggest Ace Hardware I've ever seen.
I got out and asked 2 people questions about the fire,
Mhm.
and I don't know if I looked suspicious or what, but they turned around and walked off and said no comment. Both of them.
Interesting.
I found that interesting, and then I got to thinking maybe it's because I had a cell phone and not, like, a big camera.
Mm,
So they
maybe. You know, a
they were
lot
like,
of
"When she's
people.
probably some TikToker or some
Mhm.
YouTuber," is what.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say this, I don't like people coming up to me, I would be very skeptical that somebody's trying to get me with a gotcha on a phone for freaking views and likes, and then I'm gonna be on public freak out on Reddit,
Well,
and then
I
it's just gonna go
asked him if I
everywhere
could
after that.
record. I just had the phone in my hand, and I said, "Hey, would you mind if I recorded audio of a I wanted to ask you a couple of questions about the Ollie's fire
Mm.
here?" No comment. So the next one, I had my phone up and I was like, "Hey, can I ask you a question?" And went into my spill, no comment, and turned around and walked off. So I decided
Okay.
I was dressed in shorts, flip-flops, and just a regular shirt, and I had no makeup on. I was like, "Maybe I shouldn't ask any more questions."
I also like how their first instinct's no comment, like, that's not mine at all, but that's a
Well,
California thing maybe, right?
I did ask the guy at Del Taco. I had Del Taco for the first time. They serve
Okay.
french fries with tacos.
Oh, okay.
Has any I mean, is that just a California thing?
I don't know. I get french fries with my gyros, which are like Greek tacos.
But they gave
Oh,
me
they're so
garlic
good too.
french fries with my Del Taco. But I asked the, attendant, the worker at Del Taco, I was like, "Yeah, I was just down the street and I was asking questions." He goes, we do not talk to people in the media. I was like,
Oh,
okay. I
okay.
said, well, I'm from Texas and I love California and I wished I lived here, trying to just be nice.
Mm,
But yeah. So that used to be the Ollie's Home Store. I will
okay.
say I was sad that they did not have a memorial out front.
Mm. I mean, a lot of people aren't going to want to be associated with things like that, you know? So I'm not familiar with that, Michael. I'll have to look into that, though. Thank you.
The upstairs lounge fire.
I'm not familiar with that.
I am not familiar with that. But my orders right. But anyway, I did not know you got French fries with tacos. Okay, I'm going to just say I did not know that. So it was an
No.
experience for me.
Okay. No,
But I did
California.
do a little video of the College Hills area just to show y'all some of the houses. The thing that I found interesting, you could tell which houses had been rebuilt
Mm,
because down the road just a little bit, they were much older homes built
okay.
like in the 50s or 60s. And then you could tell these were all brand new.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and the other thing I found interesting, there was a fire hydrant on every corner.
Oh,
And apparently, I did some research, those were added after the fire.
okay.
So they tapped into them so they had more because
Mm-hmm.
it's up a hill in a canyon. And I guess they had problems with the hoses bending and not getting full water force. So they tapped into them. So
I'd
I did
imagine
learn some
too,
things.
with so many fires that happen in California, they definitely probably have that stuff just everywhere they can, because you
They
just
do.
never
They
know.
do. They even have a museum of
Oh,
California fires.
oh, interesting. I love museums.
Oh,
I
they
do
do,
too,
Sammy.
Sam.
Sammy, I will tell y'all, the weather was absolutely amazing in California, and it reminded me of why I loved living there.
Hmm.
There was no humidity. It was 80 degrees,
Oh, wow.
and it was heavenly.
Oh,
So,
jealous.
so do you want to share the video?
Yes.
I
Let's
don't
do.
know
Hey
how.
guys, I thought instead of just pictures, I would do a little bit of a video. So behind me, you can see here, that is College Hill. The college is right on the other side. I am in the neighborhood where the College Hills fire burned back in 1990 when John Orr set fires. So these homes have been rebuilt. I mean, it's been 25 years. Wait, honey, yeah, something like that.
I
I
love
will
your
do math later. We
glasses.
know I don't do math, but I'm
I'm
parked
a
in
sucker for
a no
aviators, so
parking
I love
zone.
them.
But I wanted to just go ahead and show you guys. This is what it looks like now. 66 homes burned.
Mm.
Okay, 66, but no lives were destroyed, and no deaths, I should say. 66 homes were destroyed. There was $40 million worth of damage. That was back in 1990. It would be a lot more today. So I thought I would do that quick little video for you guys. And now off
Dedication.
to go visit some more places. Bye, guys.
I love that. Wow.
Note to Terry, put makeup on before you record a video and do something with your hair. So I had a ball cap on. I took the ball cap off. I noticed that. Thank you. I took the ball cap off before I recorded, and looking at my hair right there, I should have left it on.
No way.
No,
You look great.
I will say it was kind of humbling to see that the homes had been rebuilt. And the other thing I loved, people were out in that neighborhood walking. I had a couple of people walk by and say hello to me.
Oh, that's
I did not
nice.
try to ask them questions because I'd been to the hardware store
Right. You're
first.
like,
I didn't ask them questions. But all I keep thinking about, what would that millions of dollars be in today's time?
oh, a lot. A whole lot. A whole lot.
So, and guys, it's less than 4 miles from the fire station.
Wow.
So think about that. He sets it that close to his station.
Mm-hmm. He's a real piece of work, and I can't wait to get into more of John Pyro Orr. But before
Part
we
2.
do, why don't we talk about what you're drinking tonight, Terry? Since what you wrote isn't true anymore.
Yeah, so I wrote that I was drinking sparkling water because I've got way too much to do before I leave the country, but it's been stressful. I am going with good old standard Saint Supri. Saint
Nice.
Supri, y'all
Lovely.
really need to sponsor me, okay? You need to sponsor the show and send us all wine, okay? Let's just be honest.
Yes, please and thank you. I like
Yes,
things.
please and thank you. Oh boy, here we go again.
Yes. Amos already on the puns for tonight. I love it.
What are you drinking tonight?
Well, I am still sipping on my Astral Tequila Tropical Margarita that I was drinking last week. But I promise, and some of you might be disappointed, I'm not going to drink as much as I did last week because the hangover was very rough. Very rough. It was one of those, I didn't realize, because I kept the party going after our show by myself. Well, I was hanging out with my brother. I wasn't by myself, but I was the only one drinking. And then the next night for our TMI show, I went to pour another drink and I was like, holy smokes, I drank like half a bottle of tequila on my own. And that explained everything.
Honey,
So,
40. For some reason, when you turn 40,
mm,
the alcohol just hits different.
oh yeah, I think
And
I'm
it
still
takes
feeling it.
longer. And then just let me warn you, when you hit 50, it really hits different.
I'm only having this glass tonight, friends. That's it. And then I got a big styrofoam cup from Skyline Chili of root beer, which I was telling Terry and Amy before the show, and I know we're not supposed to like styrofoam things. I know it's bad for the environment, but you guys, all right, fountain soda tastes so much better out of styrofoam. It doesn't water down as much. You can get all the bubbles. It's my favorite thing ever. And I know it's bad. I know. But
It is bad, but there's things that are much worse.
I don't know. Styrofoam's pretty freaking bad. But so that's what I'm drinking tonight. A root beer and a margarita.
Sammy says your hair looks amazing, and I agree. It's very shiny.
Really? Oh.
It is.
Oh,
I don't know if it's the
thanks.
lighting, but it's very shiny.
I mean, I did take a shower and I did like blow dry and straighten my hair. So maybe it's just that it's clean. I don't know.
I was gonna say, it's very shiny.
Just
I'm like
clean.
going, it looks very good. I'm just
Yeah.
glad that you can't smell me because I cleaned the goat cage.
The original hangover. Amos, you're out of control. All right, you guys. Well, with all of that, let's get into the story of John Pyro Orr. If y'all give me a second, because my Google just did that fun thing where it's like, you know what we're going to do right now? We're going to sign you out of all of your stuff, and we're going to need you to re-sign back in. Thanks, Google.
Hey, Llama, get a new laptop and have to re-sign into everything.
No, thank you. Yeah, I know I'm currently signed in as myself. Thank you, Google. Oh my gosh, it is just one of those days. Anyway, it's made of humans.
What?
No
Sammy,
way.
that is a lie because I love glitter, and I'm sorry, it is not made of humans.
Yes, lady in gray. Yes. I'm sorry, but the paper cup. Oh, don't even get me started on soda out of paper cups. What are we even doing? Okay. Ugh. Blech, hate it. Anyway, let's get on to the story, you guys. Now, as I was going to say, we left off last week with the Pillow Pyro Task Force, band name called it, because I freaking love the name of that task force. And then being worried that John Orr was onto the investigation after finding the tracker on his car. And the task force frustrated that John went home without setting any fires after the meeting. Because remember, this guy, every time there was a conference, oh, well, look at all these fires that just so happened to happen right there where the conference was. But this time, no fires. So the surveillance of Orr continued, but his crazy driving made it almost impossible for the task force team to follow him. Since the Pillow Pyro Task Force had been established, there hadn't been a single arson attempt at any retail store within Los Angeles County. Interesting. Despite the task force growing determination, their suspect remained elusive. Each day, investigators pored over the daily fire reports, combing through every blaze in hopes of finding a lead that tied back to Orr. But the reports brought nothing new, just silence. Almost like somebody has like insider knowledge. Okay.
I know, but I have a question. Should I know what this means?
No, Terry, no, don't.
Salient green leftovers? What
No,
is salient?
It's not. Now's not the time, Terry.
Okay, so it's one of those things that I'm stupid about. Okay.
You're
I just
fine. You're blessed. Okay.
I'm blessed. Okay.
You're blessed.
Then that's all I
Live
need
in that world that you're in. Just live in that world that you're in.
Okay, then I'm going to just stay here. Now,
Okay.
frustrations began to mount. With little progress, the team debated whether it was time to act. Should they move forward with an arrest based on the very thin evidence already collected? I mean, they would be gambling that it would be enough to secure charges for the 1987 retail fires in Fresno, Tulare, and Bakersfield. Or should they hold out waiting for John to strike again? Guys, that is a tough decision, because you want to stop him. But if you don't have enough evidence and he gets off free and then he knows it's a tough one.
Very much
Now,
so.
while those discussions weighed heavily, the task force seized a creative opportunity. The LA Fire Department, working with the task force, issued a fabricated request for updated headshots of members of the Fire Investigators Regional Strike Team, to which John Orr belonged. Now, oblivious to the ruse, Orr smiled for the camera, providing investigators with a fresh headshot.
I almost wore my red and black flannel today, but then I was like, no, I'll wear that tomorrow because I got to do a bunch of stuff tomorrow. Here, John and I could have been somewhat matching.
You could have. I'm glad you didn't. Now,
I'll be wearing that tomorrow.
Photo was quietly inserted into a lineup and shown to witnesses from several of the retail arson scenes. Guys, the results were telling. Multiple witnesses singled out John Orr, identifying him as a customer they had seen inside the stores or lingering near the locations shortly before the fires erupted. And guys, I have to tell you, that is sneaky as shit. And I am here for it.
Yeah, that's some clever thinking right there. It really was. And Pyro llama. I don't know. Maybe I'll work that into a story for TMI tomorrow or something. We'll see.
The fact that it's cool enough to wear flannel where you are is just obnoxious. Like I told y'all before we started, it was 95 here today. I am in shorts.
I am wearing a knitted poncho right now. With a cowl neck and like everything.
I'm like, I wish I had that.
In a couple of months, it'll be too cold to wear this. Crazy. This is my fall sweaters. I have so many sweaters, y'all. I wasn't really streaming much in the wintertime. Wait till you see how many sweaters and cardigans I have in black. It's unnecessary. All right. So following this, the Pillow Pyro Task Force was given permission to install a tracking device inside of Orr's car, which is a big deal to get a warrant like that. Okay. Not just super easy to do. It's as tough as like trying to tap a phone. You need good evidence for a judge to write this warrant for sure. And it would be one that he could not accidentally find like the last one they tried. So they waited until his car went in for its regular service and the device was installed under the dashboard. Now, this device would allow the task force to have real-time tracking of Orr's movements while in the vehicle. You guys, this is 1990, okay? Remember that? There is no phones, no GPS, none of that. All right. So this is breaking technology here.
Yes,
Meanwhile,
Becky,
he's we shortened his
we will still be in shorts. Yes.
Mm. I'll be wearing mittens and beanies. I might wear some gloves someday if it gets too cold, because sometimes it just gets really cold.
Oh, I need to pack my gloves.
There
Yeah,
you go.
that's on my list. Crap. Sorry.
Now, the technology was cutting edge for its time, virtually unknown within most law enforcement circles. That's right. And it was sophisticated enough that John would have had no reason to be suspicious. I kind of want to see this thing, but okay. The installation was carefully executed and discreetly fitted under Orr's dashboard during a routine vehicle service, where it was nearly impossible to detect. Now, as we said, the device provided investigators with real-time movement logs in 15-minute intervals, giving them the most powerful tool yet in tracing Orr's potential connection to suspicious blazes. And this is exactly really what I think they would need in order to take him to trial. Like they needed this sort of evidence for
Agreed.
sure. So, this allowed the investigators to compare his travel patterns with suspicious fire outbreaks, looking for any consistencies that might finally tie him to a broader pattern of arson activity. Now, what once seemed like a puzzle filled with guesswork was now backed by hard data that could either implicate him or clear him. I think we know which way this is going to go, though.
I know, but I do respect the fact that they were really hoping it would clear him.
I mean, I would think so too, right? You really don't want to think it's him, but
Okay, I'm sorry, but Sammy, you're right. Bama's not a weather prediction state. Winter jackets in the AM and shorts and sandals by afternoon once fall truly starts. Yep, welcome to the South. Now, while surveillance was underway, a year's worth of Glendale Fire Department call-out sheets were examined. Now, these records painted a troubling picture, okay? Every suspected pillow pyro fire had coincided with periods where John was either unaccounted for or working alone.
not great.
Mhm.
Not great.
These findings started tightening the net around him. Now, guys, buckle up because I would just say buckle up because as the task force dug deeper, guess what, guys? They discovered Orr had been working on a novel.
This is something, y'all.
One that rattled investigators and Terry to the core. Okay. The title is Points of Origin. The manuscript centered on Aaron Stiles, a firefighter who doubled as a serial arsonist in LA.
Yeah.
Points of origin? Yes.
Love it.
I mean, write what you know, right?
Mm.
Now, Stiles derived sexual gratification from setting fires, while his colleague, arson investigator Phil Langtree, grew increasingly desperate to unmask the culprit, wreaking havoc across the city.
Yeah, I want to find this whole thing and read it. I love reading shit. I think this might call for a table read. If somebody has it, send it to me. So the parallels between fiction and reality were striking, okay? Stiles was a non-smoker, like Orr, and he used a delay incendiary device that gave him 10 to 15 minutes to escape, just like those recovered from the real pillow pyro fires. Oh my gosh, what? Now, both men favored retail targets, hardware stores, fabric shops, and businesses stocked with styrofoam and highly combustible goods. This is probably why we don't have styrofoam cups anymore, huh? It's really this guy's fault
It's
that we don't
his
have
fault.
delicious soda. I'm blaming him. Why not? Now, even the timeline was chillingly accurate. Okay. Stiles would set fires while traveling to and from an arson conference in Fresno, mirroring Orr's suspected activity. What?
Write what you know, buddy. Write what you know.
Right?
He didn't
Yeah.
have a creative thought in his brain.
No, not at all. And that makes you wonder about the sexual gratification part. They're not saying he has it, but like,
Oh, we're going to get to that.
okay.
We're going to get to that.
Okay.
And we will give
So-
a warning before we do.
Now, in one passage, Orr describes Stiles. He said, quote, "He was a loner and insecure. His fires gave him the much needed attention that he craved. He was, after all, the only one who knew how the fire started. To Aaron, the smoke was beautiful, causing his heart rate to quicken and his breathing to come in shallow gasps. He was trying to control his outward appearances and look normal to anyone around him." Okay. Now,
Look at the fire flickering, the flames in the back of that.
yes, she did a great job with that. How shiny are his shoes? Right. Now, for investigators, points of origin read like a veiled confession. While its explicit sexual content and violent imagery shocked them, it was the fire scenes that hit hardest. Fiction that was nearly indistinguishable from the real-life crimes Orr was suspected of committing. Though the manuscript could not serve as direct evidence, it was dissected for motive, psychology, and any hidden clues about Orr's behavior. And I will say, I normally get annoyed about stuff that they'll be like, we'll read people's writing, be like, oh, this means that. Oh, he watched a violent movie, dumb shit like that. All right. But this one sounds like, okay, sir.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I love if you look at his thing here. This novel is approximately 104,000 words long.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, did you count the words?
I would appreciate your reviewing the enclosed synopsis and call me if you feel like my novel has merit, or mail me your manuscript. I'll let you know, buddy.
Yeah,
I'll let you
send it
know.
Send it to us.
All right.
So in June of 1990, it was time again for another fire conference. But guys, this time to the surprise of many, including me, John Orr did not attend, and instead he sent his partner, Don Yeager, to attend while he stayed back and worked. We lost Alma. I can't help but think he was getting the funny feeling that they were maybe on to him after the last conference. But by late November 1991, John Orr had been under surveillance for 7 months when flames erupted on the set of a television show at Warner Brothers Studio in Burbank, California, where I just visited. Now, arson investigator Captain Steve Patterson called on Orr for help, still seeing him as a mentor and a seasoned expert. Orr quickly agreed, saying, "Oh, I just happened to be nearby," and arranged to meet Patterson outside the studio gates. But when Patterson got there, Orr never appeared. Instead, Patterson was stunned to find John Orr already deep inside the sprawling lot, inspecting the burn set as though he had materialized from nowhere. I mean, if that isn't some red flags,
John Boy, okay?
is John Boy okay? Now, the task force immediately flagged the incidents. Orr's teletrack device showed his vehicle in the area at the time of the fire. However, it placed him closer than coincidence could reasonably explain. However, the 15-minute interval tracking couldn't prove he lit the blaze. But this was the first time technology could confirm his proximity to a deliberately set fire. So,
I
to
mean,
the
that's pretty
task
good.
force, it was a breakthrough moment.
Mm-hmm.
So, clear evidence that Orr was circling the very scenes they suspected him of creating. I mean, in today's time, I stop and think, I'm like, my God, you can only do it in 15-minute intervals. What's wrong with you? Why I can log in and see where my suitcase is with my air tag. And I'm like, yeah, Terry, that was in the 90s.
It does. Yeah, like the earliest 90s. Early 90s. Now, the very next day, Orr's suspicious behavior intensified. Former LAFD Captain Gary Seidel, one of the few who knew Orr was under investigation, spotted him driving along the Foothill Freeway in Glendale. Now, minutes later, smoke began rising into the sky. A bushfire had broken out nearby, spreading rapidly through dry brush. Orr announced over the dispatch radio that he was on his way to the scene. Nothing about that in itself seemed unusual until investigators realized how fast he had arrived there, because you were just in LA and this was early 90s, but like you ain't getting nowhere, you know?
It took me, I forget, was it 40 something minutes to go 6.9 miles?
Gross.
I was so stressed from traffic. Oh, on
Thank
top, thank you
you.
for the super sticker. But
Thank
yeah,
you.
that's suspicious.
Mm-hmm. Right? So fire crews were stunned to find Orr on site almost before they could mobilize, moving through the burned terrain with the same investigative zeal he had always been known for. To the casual observer, he was simply doing his job. But for the Pillow Pirate Task Force, the speed of his arrival suggested far more sinister. And that was that Orr had already been there when the fire began. Interesting.
I mean, but I love that picture of him. Just, I don't know why. Now, if suspicions weren't already strong enough, guys, another fire broke out the same afternoon, just 9 minutes away in La Canada, Flint Ridge. Now, the near simultaneous timing raised red flags, with investigators speculating that one blaze might have been set as a diversion to allow the other to burn longer before firefighters could respond.
And that's what I was thinking.
I mean, let's just be honest. He thought he was being sneaky, okay? Now, once again, Orr appeared on scene with uncanny speed. I mean, he was like Johnny on the spot, is I guess the best way to say that. Arriving even after he had announced over the radio that he was headed to the Glendale fire. So for those paying attention, it seemed almost impossible. Orr was in two places at once, one step ahead of every crew every time.
Yes, Captain. Yes, I agree.
He is acting like an addict. And when we get to the psychology, we're going to learn a little bit about that.
Oh, thank you, Lady in Gray, for gifting 5 memberships. Thank you. Congrats to all of our new members for joining the fam.
I'm like, I think over on my other monitor, I can see who they are. But that would require me to multitask, and we know I'm not great at that. So, Michael, he's super Orr. Here we go again. Here we go again with the Orrs.
Super.
I love it. Now, later analysis confirmed both fires were deliberately set. Duh. Now, while Orr's role as an arson investigator explained his presence, the pattern was undeniable. The man under suspicion for years was now being tracked or witnessed in proximity to fires that bore the same hallmarks of the pillow pyro. To investigators, the Warner Brothers, the Glendale, and the La Canada Flint Ridge blazes were marked a chilling turning point. They were no longer just looking at John Orr's past. They were watching him ignite his present.
Oof.
And guys, to me, this says he was able to set the fire and leave all within less than 15 minutes. How many fires had he set and practiced to be able to do this?
No, the Animaniacs, I'm sure we're safe and sound.
The Animaniacs, okay, my kids grew up calling them baby rats.
Baby rats.
But just think about it. The tracker could only catch him in 15-minute intervals.
Mhm.
That means he was in and out
Yeah.
before. That scares me.
Yeah. He's a quick one here. Now, in late November 1991, the Pillow Pyro Task Force and the U.S. Attorney's Office were running out of patience, as I imagine they probably should be. They've been doing this for how many years now? Now, Orr's presence at suspicious fires, his novel's disturbing parallels, and the mounting circumstantial evidence all pointed in one direction. Federal agents worried that he had escalated from retail targets to large outdoor fires, incidents capable of catastrophic destruction and mass casualties. And they simply could not risk waiting any longer. And I agree. I don't think they could wait any longer to do this.
I don't think they could either, but we're going to get into a lighthearted comment that was made. So sounds like somebody's sex life in and out in 15 minutes. Dan, I'm going to just tell you, if you ever hear this, we got your back. Okay, that's all I'm going to say. Now, if you look
time
at
I'm
this
just kidding.
fire burning, that is in the College Hills where I was. I don't know what section because so many houses were burned, but this is a picture from that fire. Look, those flames are high.
Oh, there she is. Never mind. You froze for a second, but you're good now.
Oh, I froze. Those flames are high.
Oh, I thought something was crawling my arm, but it was just like the little danglies from my poncho. It scared me. I was like, oh my God, what is that? Oh my God. Oh, no, it's just my shirt. I'm fine.
That reminds me of a funny story to remind me to tell you later.
Okay.
Now, on the morning of December 4th, 1991, John Orr walked across his Eagle Rock property towards his car. But before he could open the door, a wall of voices cut through the dawn, shouting for him to put his hands in the air. Yep. So agents from the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, officers from the LAPD, and members of the LAFD's arson unit encircled him. The firefighter who had once lectured others about arson was now under arrest for being the very firebug he claimed to hunt. Guys, there's a lot of people I don't like, and I try to give them grace. It is so hard to give this man grace.
Do we have to? I'm not.
I try to give grace because of whatever happened to him that made him into a firebug. But on the other hand, I'm like, yeah, no, you don't deserve my grace. Now, at the station, Orr denied all involvement. Anyone surprised?
No.
Anyone? But in a telling moment, he asked investigators how many fingerprints they had found.
Okay.
Who asked that if you're innocent? Let's just be honest. Who asked that question?
It's a weird question
Now,
to ask, but okay.
search warrants were executed on his home, car, and office. Among the items seized, cigarettes, matches, rubber bands, yellow notepads, photographs, videos, and even a copy of the Pillow Pyro Task Force flyer.
I did think he was sly and clever.
Yeah. Now, John Orr dismissed these as training tools, props he used to teach students how easily incendiary devices could be assembled from everyday objects. Okay.
Which, I mean, yeah, that's part of his job.
It is part of his job. And
It's not great.
yeah, red flags. Now, investigators were unconvinced, especially when footage surfaced showing properties or filmed before they were later set ablaze.
That's not going to be good for you, John.
I'm like,
It's not
you
good.
do not go and take video footage and pictures and then set it on fire.
Yeah, no, that's not great for him.
I mean, that is pure evil to me.
It's weird. It's so weird. He's so weird. Now, among the most unsettling discoveries in the Pillow Pyro case were the letters John Orr himself had written to his own insurance agent. I don't know why he wrote these. I still don't understand, but apparently, I don't know. He just wanted somebody to talk to, I guess. I don't know.
Guess what? I
What?
typed that wrong. It's not his insurance agent, it's his literary agent.
Oh, okay. That makes a lot more sense than his insurance. I was like, okay, maybe that's
So
the only person.
I must have spelled it wrong and autocorrected, but yeah, his literary agent.
Okay. This makes a lot more sense.
I'm going to just, and guys, there was no alcohol or anything involved in the research and writing of this.
All right. So John Orr writes letters to his literary agent. Okay. We got all this. Now, on the surface, the correspondence appeared routine, but investigators soon realized the letters revealed far more about Orr's state of mind and his obsession with fire. Oh, I want to read these so bad. In them, he described the destructive beauty of flames with a disturbing admiration, referring to fire as if it were a living, breathing force, which it is.
It is.
I don't think it's that weird, but yes. But also talking about it too much is weird. Okay. But I get mesmerized by flames. Like when you're at like a bonfire, we
Or you're
all.
with Terry in Ohio
well-
and she's tried to. I find flames, they're mesmerizing. They can calm the soul. I mean, just like sitting there looking at them, you forget everything else if they're contained and they're not causing damage.
Right. I mean, we have a lot of respect for fire. It's because of fire that we are really even here today.
It is.
Okay. So I get saying that, but oh, hey, Savage.
You came to talk shit and chew
Hi.
gum? Ain't got no gum? Okay, well, welcome.
You've come to the right place. Now, his words carried a fascination that went beyond professional expertise, exposing a personal attachment that raised alarm bells for the task force. And one letter stood out in particular, where Orr warned of an arsonist plague sweeping through California, almost as though he was taunting investigators who struggled to stop the outbreaks. He wrote about how easily fires could be set and how difficult they were to solve, lacing the commentary with a confidence that bordered on arrogance. The phrasing suggested an inside knowledge of the crimes, written less like a concerned firefighter and more like the perpetrator himself, leaving a breadcrumb trail. And to the task force, it read like a confession in disguise, one that not only pointed to Orr's involvement, but also revealed his need for recognition. I mean, in writing this to your literary agent, I'm thinking the reason that happened is because they had questions. Right? How probable is this? Blah, 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 blah,
Right.
blah. And he just was like, "Ooh, let me tell
I mean,
you all the
he
things."
was full of arrogance.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Now the letters became a psychological window into Orr's dual identity, the trusted fire captain and the suspected pillow Pyro. While no single piece of correspondence directly admitted guilt, guys, the tone, detail, and peculiar phrasing offered prosecutors additional evidence of his obsession. The agent, unsettled by the content, handed them over to authorities who treated this writing as more than idle musings. Thank you, agent, for doing that. They were viewed as the words of a man who wanted to be admired for his expertise, yet could not resist hinting at the secret life he was leading. Yeah, guys, he wanted recognition. Now, in the end, the letters added a chilling layer to the growing case against John Orr, proof not only of his actions, but of the twisted pride he took in them. Now, John Orr ended one letter to a literary prospect with a chilling remark. By the way, I'm not the arsonist.
Right. Okay. That's what they all say.
Okay. Now, after his arrest, when the task force informed Orr's colleagues, one of his friends, a fellow arson investigator, immediately urged them to revisit the deadly 1984 fire at Ollie's Home Center in South Pasadena. Remember, it was ruled an accident. He explained that John had been fixated on the case for years and often insisted the blaze was deliberately set. Now, the fact that the investigators had officially ruled it an accident remained a constant source of frustration for John Orr.
Which is so interesting later.
Sorry, guys. This tip triggered a memory for Special Agent Michael Matassa, who had been instrumental in the Pyro investigation. He recalled a passage from Orr's manuscript, Points of Origin, where a fictional fire consumed Cal's hardware store. In that story, 5 people perished in the flames, including a young boy named Matthew. A detail that now struck chilling parallels to the real-life Ollie's tragedy.
He's as big of a shit writer as Chad Daybell is.
He
Jeez
is.
Louise. Oh my God.
He needed that he needed that fire to be found out.
Oh yeah. He wanted that very badly. Now, in Orr's novel, the arson investigators are portrayed as too incompetent to recognize that the fire was intentionally set. Okay. In reality, the Oll's Home Center blaze claimed 4 lives, including the 2-year-old boy named Matthew, and was officially ruled an accident. Assistant U.S. attorneys Walter Brown and Stephen Stein later remarked that the fictional cow's fire described in Orr's manuscript mirrored the Oll's tragedy to the point of being macabre. Investigators pored over the points of origin draft line by line, uncovering unsettling parallels between Orr's fiction and real-world arsons. Now, many of the blazes he described in the book bore striking similarities to actual incidents at the time, had some that hadn't even been tied to the pillow Pyro. Interestingly enough. Now, remember last week when we said that John Orr was upset that the Oll's fire killed 4 people and that it was ruled an accident? Well, interesting.
Just put a tack in that. So, John Orr's first major trial took place in Fresno, California, and it quickly became one of the most high-profile arson cases in the state history. I wish it would have been live streamed. Llama, we would have been all up in that, right? Now, prosecutors laid out a meticulous case, beginning with the fingerprint found on the incendiary device recovered in the 1987 fire in Bakersfield. They walked the jury through the technical details of how the incendiary devices were built, how they matched Orr's signature method, and how his presence had been placed near multiple fire scenes.
Mm.
Now, the Fresno courtroom became the stage where investigators finally presented years of painstaking work, stitching together evidence that portrayed John Orr not as a decorated fire investigator, but as the very arsonist he claimed to be hunting.
People's gonna get you. People's gonna get you. Yes. Yep. Just like
It
BTK.
just, yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, throughout the proceedings, prosecutors emphasized the devastating impact of Orr's crimes. Witnesses testified to the destruction caused by the retail fires, businesses gutted, families put at risk, and firefighters forced into life-threatening situations. The jury was reminded that these blazes were not accidents. They were deliberate acts carried out by someone with an intimate knowledge of how fire spread. The letters Orr had written, the surveillance data from the tracker, and the testimony from fire investigators all worked together to paint a damning picture of a man leading a double life.
Mm.
All I could think about the double life, just be like most firefighters and cops, just cheat. Don't set fires and kill people. I would rather you cheat than kill people.
I mean,
None of it's okay.
none of it's great. None of this is
But
great. Just
killing,
don't be a douche.
just
That's right.
don't be a
Just
douchebag.
don't be that way. It's fine. Now, Orr, for his part, maintained his innocence because, of course, he did. He sat calmly through much of the testimony, often appearing as though he was still the confident arson investigator rather than the accused. But the evidence presented in Fresno left little room for doubt. In the end, the jury convicted him of multiple counts of arson, marking the beginning of a series of trials that would ultimately expose the full scope of his fire-setting career. Now, the Fresno verdict not only secured Orr's downfall, but also confirmed the suspicions investigators had harbored for years that the state's most trusted fire investigator was, in fact, California's most prolific arsonist, which is just so shocking.
I know. It's just like I can't wrap my head around it. How?
Now, the Fresno trial concluded with a decisive verdict. All right. John Orr was found guilty of 3 counts of arson and was acquitted for the other 2 due to lack of evidence. So that's, good that they don't have the evidence. I know we all know he did it, right?
They
But
didn't find devices. Yeah.
no, which does mean that what they had to do beforehand, tracking him for certain, like that was really important to the jury. But you can't go back in time and track him elsewhere. I'm pretty sure they were all like, yeah, it probably was that guy, but beyond a
But they're
reasonable
like,
doubt and all.
we need proof.
Right. So the conviction wasn't just a personal ruin for Orr. It was a devastating blow to the firefighting profession. Because he was the face of it.
He trained other investigators.
Yeah. A man once held up as an expert in catching arsonists was now unmasked as the very type of criminal he had built his career pursuing. Poetic justice.
Yeah. Now, at sentencing, the courtroom was filled with victims, firefighters, and of course, curious onlookers who wanted to see justice delivered. Prosecutors argued that Orr's crimes demonstrated a shocking disregard for human life, pointing that he had set fires in busy retail areas, fully aware of the risk to civilians and first responders, which, let me remind you, he is a first responder.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they pressed for the maximum punishment, portraying him as a manipulative predator who used his badge as a shield. The defense tried to push back, insisting the fingerprint was the only concrete evidence tying Orr to a device. But guys, their arguments carried little weight against the mountain of circumstantial proof. Now, we know he was convicted, but when Judge Donald R. Franson addressed Orr directly, his words were unsparing. He told John Orr that his actions had been a betrayal, not only of the public's trust, but of the firefighting brotherhood he claimed to serve.
Mm-hmm.
He emphasized that Orr's knowledge of fire made his crimes especially cruel, since he understood better than anyone how much destruction and fear each blaze could and would cause. I mean, to me, there should be a premeditated fire, like premeditated and things.
That might
No.
have been an aggravating factor. I don't really know I don't really know arson charges all that well, but I feel like there's probably something.
Yeah. Now, the judge sentenced John Orr to 30 years in prison for the Fresno arsons, ensuring he would most likely spend the prime of his life behind bars. This outcome marked only the beginning of his legal reckoning. But guys, it was the first decisive step in holding California's most prolific arsonist accountable for his reign of fire.
Yes, even as Orr settled into prison, new cases loomed. He was charged with additional fires, including 3 in Atascadero during a 1989 arson conference and 5 more in Los Angeles between 1990 and 1991. His defense attorney urged him to take a plea bargain because, boy, and to just have him admit to the 3 Atascadero fires, which had caused minimal damage, in exchange for dismissing the Los Angeles charges. And believe it or not, Orr agreed. That was very surprising to me. He seemed like too much of a stubborn man to ever take claim for any of this. Even though he wanted the attention, it very much surprised me to learn that. Now, on May 12, 1993, he pled guilty, earning an additional 96 months to be served concurrently with his existing sentence in order to pay a fine of $225,000 to the victims of the 3 fires. So I guess that's something.
It is.
Look how hairy his hands are. Is that him? Look at his hands. Oh my goodness, sir. Sorry. Got carried away.
I don't know. Now, it has been reported that John Orr took this deal in hopes of sparing his wife the possibility of losing everything they owned. And that's the reason he did it. Now, I will tell you, and I didn't add it in here, his attorney also told him, if you set any other fires, they are going to come for you. So you need to own up to shit now, because his attorney informed him that he was also being investigated for the Ollie's fire, which killed 4 people. John Orr adamantly told his attorney he was 100% absolutely innocent. It did not start the fire, and that there was no evidence that he did.
No.
I mean, on one hand, I'm like, well, I appreciate you trying to save your wife from losing everything. But on the other hand, could you have thought of that first?
I remember he was hell-bent on this wasn't an accident. Blah, 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 blah.
Yep.
And now he's like, well, I had nothing to do with that.
I had nothing to do with that. Who, me? I don't know what you're talking about. Sorry.
I don't think he ever wanted to actually hurt people,
I do
but
not.
what did you expect to happen? You literally played with fire. Like, what? You
I
of
mean,
all people.
I don't think he set out to be a killer, but he, as a fire investigator, even me, I'm not a fire investigator. I know fires can get out of hand. Houses burn down, people die. Even if people didn't die, you ruin their life. Because guess what? Even if you have insurance, you're never fully whole again. Your baby pictures
Sure.
are gone, your wedding photos. I mean, dude, you knew better. Okay.
Agreed.
Now, in 1994, John Orr faced his most serious trial yet in connection with the Ollie's Home Center fire in South Pasadena. So the blaze, which broke out on October 10th, 1984, killed 4 people: a grandmother, a 2-year-old grandson, and 2 store employees. Now, after years of investigation and mounting suspicion, prosecutors had charged Orr with 4 counts of first-degree murder, arguing that the Ollie's fire bore the same hallmarks, or what we call MO, as the blazes tied to the pillow pyro.
I honestly, I don't see how they could have taken that to court, to be quite honest. I mean, do we think that he probably did it? Yes. But they even have even less evidence for that one, pretty much.
Yeah. Now,
So,
I agree, but prosecution went to John Orr with a plea deal that would take the death penalty off the table.
Hmm.
But guess what? Mr. Evil, I'm sorry, John Orr, he turned down the plea deal. Mind you, he's already in prison.
right. But first degree murder, you're going into a whole different part of the prison if you get that. Your life's about to be a whole lot different in prison with those first degree murder charges there. So,
But
and death penalty, risky. Right, that's true, Cap. And he did have the opportunity to destroy the evidence from many of his fires.
he did.
Yes, he did. Now, so the prosecution built its case around Orr's signature methods of arson. They emphasized that he had shown up quickly at the scene, just as he had numerous other suspicious fires, and pointed to the patterns that linked Oles to other incidences under investigation. To the jury, they argued that this was not a tragic accident, but a deliberate act of fire setting carried out by a man who was supposed to protect the public from such crimes. Now, the defense countered by insisting there was no direct physical evidence tying Orr to the ignition point at Ollie's. They stressed that there were no eyewitnesses, no fingerprints, and no single piece of proof beyond a reasonable doubt. They maintained that Orr was being targeted based on suspicion, reputation, and circumstantial connections rather than hard evidence. To which I say, that's actually a pretty valid defense argument.
I do agree, but the fact that he showed up so quick, he went through it for 6 to 7 hours. I don't know. There's a lot of circumstantial stuff. Now, prosecutors called witnesses to remind the jury of the terrible human toll of the Ollie's fire. Testimony described the rapid spread of the blaze, the conditions that trapped victims inside, and the tragic losses suffered by families and the community. They underscored that John Orr, with his professional training, knew exactly how devastating such a fire would be when set inside a large retail store full of people. Guys, let's also not forget what he wrote in his novel Point of Origin that was almost detail to detail.
Agreed.
After weeks of testimony and deliberations, the jury sided with the prosecution. They convicted John Orr on 4 counts of first-degree murder for the deaths caused by the Ollie's Home Center fire. Now, this verdict was another devastating confirmation of the suspicions investigators had pursued for years. that a decorated fire captain and respected arson investigator was, in fact, a serial arsonist and a murderer. I mean, if I was on that jury, his point of origins book, and he said that a young boy died named Matt. I mean, there was too many things I would have.
But also, a lot of that was information that him and other people knew as well. It wasn't like super secret information.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, the novel's weird and whatnot. I don't even know if they would have let it into court, to be quite honest with you.
California did.
Did they? Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So does that mean we can FOIA that manuscript?
I'm
just kidding. We'll find
Amy,
it. Don't
could
worry.
you do a FOIA on that or write?
We'll find it.
Down?
We'll find it because I want to read it. Now, when pleading for John Orr's life, his attorneys presented UCLA forensic psychiatrist Dr. Ronald Markman, who testified that Orr's compulsion to ignite fires was rooted in obsessive compulsive disorder and a form of pyromania. According to Markham, Orr's fire setting was not a matter of conscious choice, but a way of alleviating intolerable anxiety, describing it as an unresolved medical conflict. I respectfully disagree, sir. Okay, I'm not a doctor, but I respectfully disagree. The book was released. Oh.
Was it?
Ooh.
I didn't think it was released. I know there's been several books written, but Points of
Love that
Origin
for
was
us.
released. Okay. I am going to go look that up over here on the Amazon bookstore and order it.
Oh, goodness. He noted that the veteran investigator, once regarded as a model firefighter and father of two, had a long history of fascination with flames and match playing. Well, sir, you are a doctor. You should know that that's not a good sign, actually.
Yeah.
So now
it
to Orr's
released.
Oh, nice.
And I just ordered it. Can only get it in paperback.
It's kind of funny when you think about it. To Orr's defense team, these factors painted the picture of a man consumed by a disorder that left him powerless to resist the urge to set fires. His family echoed this plea, recalling his childhood discipline, his service in the Air Force, and its constant reminders for them to keep fire extinguishers and escape routes at the ready. Prosecutors, however, pressed a harsher view, arguing that Orr was not a man overcome by illness, but a calculating arsonist who betrayed the public's trust. And I do agree with that. Is there something fundamentally wrong with him? Yes, absolutely.
Not an excuse, though.
Not an excuse at all. But I think, there's a spectrum with arsonists, and we'll get into that more. But sorry, Dr. Ronald Markman, what you're saying here, I don't think applies to this man. But I'm not a doctor. My opinions are unqualified.
Neither, but remember, he wanted to be a cop and he failed the entrance exam. What would he have done if he would have been a police officer?
Right?
What would his crime have been? Lady in Gray, mine's on its way too. It will not be here until after I'm on my flight, but dang.
No.
Exactly. My OCD does not compel me to light fires, either unless it's in a fire pit.
Well, I feel like there are some people who have OCD, and that is what happens. But his were too careful, right?
Agreed.
Because if you're at that point and it's compulsive, like you're not as careful as he was about things.
Agreed.
Because you're in all sorts of disarray and disordered thinking. So
okay, Cap'n, it's okay.
Yes.
She said, y'all reminded me I
No,
forgot to put a
shut up.
prodigy gif in the slideshow.
I love
Well,
Prodigy.
considering you didn't get the script on time, it is not your fault. The fact that we have any slides, everybody needs to stop right now and thank Cap'n, because let's just say Terry has a brand new spiffy Mac, because I had to get a new one. Did you
That's
get a sword?
You don't need to know. You don't
Because
need to know, Terry. No, I'm just kidding.
added mine back yet.
No, it's actually just in StreamYard.
Oh, so you found where they.
Oh, that's Amos being like, shh, don't say
I'm like, are you telling me to shush?
anything. No,
I'm going
that's
to go
her.
back to calling you a miss. Now, the outcome of the 1994 murder trial ensured that Orr would spend the rest of his life in prison.
Kind of looks like a walrus in that picture. My gosh, what happened to all of his hair?
He's in prison. He's stressed. He's.
Yes, Amy.
I know. I'm like, I see Amy in the background going. So
It's like a walrus.
we can make fun of him because he's a POS. Now, for the families of the victims, the convictions brought long-awaited justice. Though, guys, it can never undo their loss of the loved ones. For prosecutors and investigators, the verdict closed the darkest chapter of the Pillow Pyro case, securing accountability for the most deadly fire Orr had ever set. Now, Mr. POS, John Orr, still maintains his innocence and says his book was purely fiction and that he only took that one plea deal to help his wife.
Whatever, bro. Don't believe you.
I don't believe shit you say.
Don't believe you. Now, there have been several movies and books written about this case, but one article I found talks about his daughter, who was 17 when her dad, John, was arrested, and that she thought he was totally innocent. Also, why wouldn't she? She's 17 and her dad. Like, fair, babes. I get it. She said that she and her sister saw their dad as a hero, which goes to lend our theory that that's what he wanted people to think of him.
Yeah.
Now, she goes on to tell how her dad's arrest derailed her life. She had recently graduated high school and was unable to go to college since she could no longer get financial aid and her mom couldn't help. She did wind up going to community college, and she even testified on behalf of her dad and said that he never said anything to her after, not thanking her or asking her how she was. She started, right? She started doubting him when she read her dad's manuscript in a novel written by Joseph Wamba. A bunch of light bulbs went off and she realized that her dad was guilty. Oh my God, look at that cover for Points of Origin. Oh, jeez.
You're right, Captain. He did tell her she could only come to court on certain days because he didn't want her to know all of the evidence.
Now, his daughter said it was horrific that he wrote about the sexual aspect of being an arsonist and to think her dad had written his book about himself. I feel bad. I get it. I've kind of been there before. And yeah, it's just horrible. You know, a lot of people don't like to really think about perpetrators, families. And there is really not a whole lot of support out there for people whose parents have been, convicted of serious crimes. I'm sure that family did not get a lot of support from the community because
they didn't,
and then his daughters are paying for his sins by not being able to go to college and all of that. And I hope his two beautiful daughters, because they were very beautiful in that photo, I hope they're having their best lives.
Yeah. I mean, I listened to a Dateline episode while I was in California driving in god-awful traffic about a woman that Josh Mankiewicz was talking to. She started a nonprofit. I don't remember the name of it, but it's about both families. So it's about getting resources for both sides of the family because they are just as innocent as the victim side. They are victims too. And sadly, so many people see them as being his children.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hope so. They're living a good life, I hope.
I love that she went to college and is an HR.
Oh, is it?
That call me if you ever want to talk HR.
Yeah,
Great.
that's pretty cool.
Now, FBI profilers and fire service researchers
Five.
deem John Orr one of the most prolific arsonists of the 20th century, with suspicions that he may have set more than 2,000 fires across 3 decades.
Is this image from Forensic Files? I don't know if it is or not, but it gives me like, I don't know if you've ever watched all
No,
of
that is
Forensic
the
Fires.
actual ATF agent,
I know.
Matassa, and the fire map.
Well, I just wondered, it just has Forensic Files
It does.
quality to it. I've watched all 22 seasons of Forensic Files. Like
She says
3 times.
Nova all the way.
Nova. Okay. All right. It has that good 90s
It does.
true crime doc feel that I love.
I know. Now, his crimes and his novel have since become central case studies in understanding firefighter arsonist, which is a rare but disturbing phenomenon linked to motives such as hero complexes, boredom, and even sexual gratification. Guys, I'm going to just tell you, firefighter arsonist is not any 2 words I ever thought should be put together.
Right.
They should not be together. Now, while hero syndrome is one motive, it is rarely the only one. Yes, he saved a dog.
Still don't like you.
He probably set that fire. Now, motives documented in firefighter arson cases often include thrill seeking, attention seeking, or sense of control. Some may light minor nuisance fires like a trash pile, vegetation, and then gradually escalate to more serious ones. In some contexts, there is also a financial or occupational incentives. More fires might lead to more overtime, increased departmental calls, or justification for additional hiring. Or in his case, promotion to fire chief.
Right. Oh, I didn't even think of all the financial incentives. Ugh.
Yeah. Now, importantly, though, most firefighter arsonists do not meet clinical criteria for pyromania. It's a diagnostic impulse control disorder. So, pyromania involves a compulsion to set fires purely to relieve internal tension or gain pleasure from the act without extrinsic motives like recognition or gain. They set it just to enjoy it.
Yeah. And, Lady in Gray brings up a good point. People with certain things will tend to go towards where they can do certain things.
Like I said, what would he have done if he became a cop?
Well, there's cops that go on fucking power trips.
I know, but
We've
I wonder
written about quite a few.
What he would have decided to do instead of fires.
I think it probably was still been a fires to a certain degree because he had a problem with fires long before
He already
this.
had that.
This was not like a new thing he was doing to get attention. Like he had a history, from what I understand, he had a history of fires since he was young.
And he probably thought fire investigators aren't as smart as cop. I mean, that's why he wanted to be the cop.
But, it is kind of crazy how many firefighter arsonists there are. It's a pretty high number, high percentage of people that do that. But, it's not just a problem in firefighters. You have people that are nurses and doctors who literally go into that to hurt people or to make them kind of like Munchausen kind of things, right? You make the patient sicker, so then you're the star nurse. It happens in a lot of different fields. I think the thing that is interesting about firefighters, though, is that a lot of firefighters are just volunteer firefighters.
There
You know,
are.
and the
They're not even getting
firefighters don't,
paid.
yeah, they don't have like big budgets and things like that. And so this is why I think firefighter arsonists like just really surprise me. The other types of arsonists don't surprise me all of that
Agreed.
much, really. I mean, they're interesting. By all means, are they interesting? But this one in particular is just one I can't really wrap my head around either way, because fire is so risky. It doesn't matter how good of a firefighter you are. It doesn't
Right.
matter.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah. And so, like,
Savage, I agree with you. All dentists, all of them.
right? So I find it fascinating. Now, speaking of firefighter arson, is it my turn? I think so, yes. Firefighter arsonists frequently present with comorbid mental health issues or personality traits that predispose them to risky behaviors. This is not surprising for me either. Now, a large study of arsonists, not exclusively firefighters, right, but everybody that fits into arsonists, right, showed that 90% had some recorded psychiatric history. Yet, only a tiny fraction, 3 out of 283, were formally diagnosed with pyromania. Because remember, we just learned what pyromania, like what criteria you need to meet. All right. 3 I have 283 people fit that definition, right? Which means there are way more sinister things
Right.
going on here. Okay. Now, among these comorbidities was substance abuse, mood disorders, psychotic symptoms, and personality disorders, especially the cluster B traits, which are impulsivity, grandiosity, are commonly documented. Personally, the personality thing is that one makes the
That's
most
mine.
sense.
That one is like ding, 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 ding.
Yeah. Yeah. No, sure, other things as well, but I'm just saying. Just say it as well. Now, in the general arson literature, schizophrenia and bipolar disorder also appear more often than in the general population. And those with severe mental illness may set fires during psychotic episodes. Okay. But in firefighter arson specifically, traits of poor self-regulation, low impulse control, grandiosity, or egotism are frequently mentioned. Again, if this is somebody with schizophrenia or bipolar disorder, they're disorganized thinking. All right.
Mhm.
They don't have this whole preparation and planning, and that's not how that works.
Right.
You know, and do they do psychiatric tests on firefighters?
So back then they did not.
Okay.
Only some states do currently.
Interesting.
So I did go down that rabbit hole, and I was shocked to find out how much people are against doing psychological testing for firefighters. I'm like, hello?
Yeah. Yeah. It's a big
Hello?
problem. It's a very big problem. And even people, I think it's more so like, because they get training now. I remember reading that for specifically like firefighter arson, right? You're
They
trained to
do.
spot other potential firefighters who are also arsonists. I'm starting to think that it's not these people are not the problem. It's everyone else and their opinions of like, no, like it's an insult to firefighters. Like, no, you want somebody whose head is in the game when they're responsible for the lives of civilians and the people working with them.
Yep.
Like, I don't understand why we're arguing about this.
I mean, I am crazy enough, and people do not come at me. Do not come at me. I think if there is a lot of fires happening in an area, you should put a tracker on all firefighters' cars.
Like, you guys, it's a really big deal. It's not even a pyromaniacs. 1 point. Trust me,
It
that
is.
percentage way higher than
It is
rando pyros.
way.
Okay.
It is. It is way higher. Now, many arsonists, including firefighter arsonists, report early fascination with fire or early fire setting behavior in adolescence. Now, childhood's exposure to trauma, abuse, neglect, family dysfunction, or chaotic home environments is also common in forensic samples. Okay. The fire service environment may then act as an enabling context. So, individuals destined to be fascinated by fire now have both the training and the access and a socially acceptable cover. Okay,
Mhm.
guys, I want you to stop and think about that.
Yeah.
Okay, that is why psychological testing is so important. Yes, firefight, it's common. Now, peer dynamics sometimes play a role. So, some arsonists report that setting fires elevated their status or created a sense of control over colleagues. Guys, they're narcissists as
Yeah.
well.
Agreed. Agreed.
Exactly, Lady in Gray. Even if there are no human deaths. So, one thing, and I'm not going to get into it, the College Hills fires, there were no human deaths.
Mm.
There was a lot of fur baby deaths. And I'm not
Oh.
going to go there, but the amount of damage, I said it earlier, baby picture. I mean, things that can't be replaced. You're happy you have your life, but
Mhm.
damn, you wish you had those things.
Well, fuck you, John, or even more for all the dead pets.
Yeah, there
Asshole.
was a lot of that. And I chose not to go into it because I just can't.
Hello, 80s.
I just can't.
Yeah, no. Now, fire setting behavior often escalates over time following a reinforcement cycle. Okay. The act provides immediate rewards, the, the thrill, attention, or internal tension relief. If that fire, sorry, you guys, if you don't, Catherine does all of our slides and she makes little slide
Oh,
notes.
the
And it's just,
names?
and I don't know what's coming, right? But I saw that it
I don't
said,
either.
me was what
Me.
she described, which is a trash fire, a dumpster fire.
So I'm glad you were laughing at it because I was like, is Cap'n saying she's a trash can fire,
Yes.
dumpster fire? Cap'n, you are not a trash can on fire because we love you and we would not be half as amazing without you. You're on fire, but not this kind of fire.
Right. Now, if that fire is then fought, especially by the perpetrator or their unit, the positive feedback can further entrench their behavior. Many firefighter arsonists begin with small, low risk fires, like in a trash or brush fires. And I don't know how brush fire is low end here, especially in California, but okay. And then they would gradually move to more dangerous ones as their internal threshold rises. Investigators call this a staircase effect, with each fire sets the stage psychologically for the next, which is also why I firmly believe John has been doing this for a long time.
That's what I said.
The ones
I
we know
think,
about are just new ones. That
I
was not
think
his
there's
first
so
time.
many more.
Yeah, that wasn't his first time setting
Mm-mm.
fire to a retail building. His
No.
method might have improved. It's just like serial killers.
It
All
is.
right. Their
He,
methods will improve over time. It's the
yeah,
same kind of, now, is it a compulsion? Sure. Sure.
it is.
But anyway, now, moreover, the reinforcement is not just internal. Okay. External rewards like receiving praise or recognition can reinforce further acts. If unchecked, the pattern may lead to more frequent daring or destructive fires. And I do think it was going there. If they didn't arrest him,
Could you imagine what he could have done? I mean,
he didn't care about the Ollie's one,
he
the one where
didn't.
people died. He kept going,
He just kept
but
going.
then he stopped for a while.
He did.
But I think that's because he was worried that they were onto him.
I was
Had
say
nothing to
once he
do.
found that tracker under his
Yeah.
car, he was like,
I don't think it had anything to do where he was like rethinking, like, oh, what I'm doing is bad. I might hurt people. No, I don't think so at all.
Yeah, because I would, and this is just me, if a fire you set took human lives, that should have made you stop.
Mm-hmm.
But he needed it. And I mean, he needed it. Now, so from a psychological and investigative standpoint, certain red flags are often present in firefighter arson cases. Okay. Now, these may include being first to arrive or insisting on responding to certain alarms or calls, apparent overeagerness or excitement at fire scenes rather than concern of being, oh shit, another, I mean, yeah. Spending time near fire scenes or equipment outside of duty, a pattern of suspicious fires in the same geographic area, particularly starting with small nuisance fires and escalating, inconsistencies in statements or efforts to be involved in investigations of fires they themselves set.
Quite the checklist. It's weird how John fit all of those.
As to say, check, check, check,
Right?
check.
Mr. Innocent over here. Okay, buddy. Now, in rare cases, arson can be linked to sexual gratification,
We should
which,
probably give the warning.
I mean, I guess if you need a warning at this point, I guess.
Yeah.
By the way, we're going to talk about weird sex stuff, even though we started our first 2 sentences of the show talking
That
about
is true.
porn,
I didn't think about
but
that.
it's fine. It's fine. We'll go ahead and do a little
Well,
warning.
I just saw
about this.
Captain's eyes and I thought maybe since she's the trash can fire, she called it herself. Maybe, you know, it
guess.
triggered her.
Now, the DSM-5 includes pyromania under impulse control disorders and notes that arousal to fire, fire starting, or fire-related paraphernalia can occur, though this is not typical of most arsonists. The technical term sometimes used is pyrophilia, which is describing individuals who derive sexual excitement from setting fires or watching them burn. Now, some of us, I'm sure, have been like, ooh, that fire in that fireplace is sexy. Let's lay on this bearskin rug that I've never seen or had, but you know, it can be, right?
It can be.
But this is still different than that. It's a whole lot different than that. Just
It is a
I'm going to clear it
whole
up.
lot different.
I'm going to clear it up with everybody.
Exactly. A vibe in the room is not the same thing.
Not the same thing. This is a little bit more than that. And it's debilitating. It
Mhm.
really is. There have been some sexual arsonists who've talked about it. And like
Mhm.
it's really embarrassing for them too, because there's the obsessive compulsive part.
Right.
You know, so Amos, your notes. You're so funny. Now, clinical and forensic studies suggest that while sexual arousal is uncommon, okay, that is us making our faces, I guess, that while sexual arousal is uncommon in the general arsonist population, it has been documented. For example, psychiatric reviews of arson cases have described individuals who reported masturbation during or after fire setting, or who became sexually excited when watching flames. In these cases, the fire itself functions as a stimulus akin to a fetish object, creating a reinforcement that is both psychological and sexual. Why? Oh, because this is the Thomas Sweat one, isn't it?
I think that's the Tommy Sweat one.
Yes, you guys. I was like, why are we showing our thumbnail for tonight? But then I was like, wait a second. That's not for tonight.
That's not.
That was an episode we did, in May, June, about Thomas Sweat.
Yeah.
In Washington, D.C. And he is exactly what I just told you about. There you go. There's one right there. Read the slide title, Llama. Well, you know, it literally says, if this sounds interesting to you.
I know. I was like, if you're interested. Now,
But I didn't know if I being anorexic was
6'8".
me.
I'm like, Captain, we didn't know if that was you interested, us interested. I mean, come on now.
That was a really good episode. That was fascinating, by the way. The Thomas Sweat one. Good stuff.
Now, for firefighter arsonists, the sexual component is far less typical than motives like heroism or thrill seeking. However, experts caution that some offenders may combine multiple forms of gratification, attention from peers, emotional release, and private sexual arousal, making their motives complex and layered. Guys, I have to just tell you, it creeps me out to think of a man self-pleasuring himself to a fire he started. I don't know why, but there's just something not right about that.
I mean, I don't think at that moment he was probably aroused by it, but man, I bet afterwards he was.
I bet
like,
afterwards,
yes, let's go.
He was, but
the
there's just
adrenaline from
something about
sneaking
that.
around, and that.
I mean, that's as bad as the necros for me. But I mean, to me,
Is it?
That is a killer. It done killed everything I'm feeling down there. It does not do
Chat,
the opposite.
which one turns you off more? All right. The sexual arsonist or the necrophilia?
The necro. Necro definitely is worse than the
worse. Yeah, I think so too. I think one, I'm like, yeah, flames can be sexy. I guess.
But my biggest fear is dying in a fire.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That's my biggest fear.
Sure.
So I see nothing sexual about that ever.
Worst. Yeah, the necros are kind of weird. Sorry, guys. But
yeah, I agree. So because sexual motives in arson are considered paraphilic, they are often hidden and underreported. Offenders rarely admit to sexual arousal, and investigators may not think to ask. Because, I mean, I'm sure they weren't like, so, John, did you light the fire so that you could stroke it? I mean, I'm sure that's not what they thought of.
Your own hose, John?
Yet, in psychological evaluations, this dimension can surface as part of the broader pattern of compulsive fire setting. The reinforcement loop in these cases is particularly strong. Both the fire and the sexual release act as a reward makes relapse more likely if untreated.
Yeah. Well, you guys, that brings us to the end of this. So John Orr sits in prison for the rest of his life, but we must remember he not only murdered 4 people, he also caused hundreds of millions of dollars in damage and caused his own family severe trauma and damage that they still have to deal with today. And that is our 2-part series on John Pillow Pyro Orr. What a tragic tale.
Yeah. I will say his daughter has given interviews, and there's a thing on A&E. You should definitely go hear from her point of view what this has done to her life.
I'm sure.
And how much as a society we need to do better about punishing the person who did it and having grace and compassion for the family. They are innocent victims as well.
I agree, Terry. Well, with that, let's do our closing thoughts. I don't really have that many. Surprisingly.
No, they don't, Savage. No.
Let it work.
No.
Listen, I think that John did all of this for ego, prestige, attention. He wanted to feel like the best guy at everything. Well, he couldn't become a cop because he couldn't pass the exam somehow in the 70s. But Maybe there's a reason for that. Maybe it's good that he didn't have a gun. But, 4 people died because of what he did. Whether he says, oh, I didn't have anything to do with it. I don't believe you, actually. It really does point to you, it being you. But he doesn't want to live with that on his conscience, right? Because it wasn't about, he didn't see himself as a killer, more of a, hey, I can fix it. Look at me. I fixed it. I knew everything. Blah, 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 blah. So that's really all I have to say about this case. I've said enough over the last episode and a half, but fuck
Now,
this guy.
one of the interesting articles I read, and I didn't include it, he and his wife, yes, he writes for the prison newspaper, he does. But he had, I'm trying to think of the correct word, he had ED issues throughout his marriage. And I read one article that a family member who asked to remain anonymous, when they went back and looked, some of their best bedroom moments were after these fires.
Knew it. Knew it. Knew it.
So now this case, I mean, I respect fire, but fire scares the shit out of me.
Mm-hmm. Don't play with
Okay.
fire, kids. Adults, don't do it.
Don't. It scares the shit out of me. And here was a man who was trusted to protect the public. He wore the firefighter's uniform. I mean, he was not hot in it, but he trained others and he stood at the front of fire investigations. But guys, underneath that, he was just a piece of shit who abused his position. And to me, he terrorized his community.
I know, right?
Oh, but Kelly's busy. And I think what stays with me the most is the human cost. We talk about the psychological, the investigation, the trials, the evidence, but at the heart of this, it is not just the 4 people who were killed. Yeah, I know that. Yeah, never flick your bic. I mean, that used to be a commercial. But think about the homes that were lost. People could never go home again. And that's something that we need to stop and think about, because the damage he left, I don't think we can put a price tag on it. But also, guys, one of the reasons I like telling these stories is because they're real people who deserved better. Not all firefighters are bad.
No.
Not all are bad. He is a piece of shit. And John, write that in your newspaper.
I do think more focus needs to be on firefighters, though. What is happening? Why is this such 100 firefighters
100.
a year get arrested for this? And those are just the ones that get caught, you guys.
80s, you would be happy to know I got asked why I was in California by somebody at the hotel when I said where we were from, and asked me if I travel a lot. And I said I was in Ohio recently. And he goes, oh, are you a Buckeyes fan? I'm like, absolutely. Go Buckeyes. I did not call them the Black Eyed Peas.
So
I
proud
said,
of you.
go Buckeyes.
Did you go OH?
I did not.
They would have said it back, probably. You should do it. Try it one time when you're in Europe and let me know what happens.
Okay, I don't think they like a lot of Americans right now.
You'd be surprised.
Okay.
You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised.
Okay.
All right,
I
you
will give
guys.
it a
Well,
try.
we're going to wrap up the show tonight, all right? But before we go, if you like what you heard tonight, be sure to follow all of our socials and subscribe to our YouTube channel because it's free. Or if you're listening to our pod, please download and give us a rating. All of that helps us tremendously in getting our small but amazing little channel out there. So share, please, and thank you.
Now, guys, next week on True Crime and Wine Time, I will not be here. Lama has a special co-host.
Yes. Well, should we say who it is? So lovely, Lady in Gray.
Lady
In Gray will be joining me next week. One of our mods and researchers and writers. She's been on before. She's coming on again. So
She has. And guys, they are covering the storage unit of death, a Tennessee horror. And I'm going to just say, it's going to be dark and you don't want to miss it. I am going to try to catch it live, depending on the time difference, because I need to know more.
I know zippy zap about this case, so I'm excited about it as well.
Okay. I actually went to the Star Wars exhibit at Disney.
She did.
And took pictures. I was not able to ride the ride that they have because they said if you have a heart condition, you shouldn't ride it. So I did not ride it.
Yeah.
But I went there and I even saw the guys in the white stormtroopers.
Yes.
I asked somebody what their name was, and they wouldn't take their picture with me because I tried. Just for you guys.
Oh boy. Now, if you need more of Terry, True Crime, and I, you can always find us doing something on our True Crime and Wine Time YouTube channel. Midday Missing airs every Monday and Wednesday here on our channel on Facebook. And even though Miss Terry is going to be gone in Europe, she has already recorded episodes. So those will still be continuing every Monday and Wednesday, 1 p.m. Eastern. While she's gone. She's not taking a break. She's a superwoman, right? Now, you guys, tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern, I will continue reading the latest letters from Chad Daybell while he's been sitting on death row. That's right. And you guys, there's something else. Because, of course, we got 2 to read tomorrow. So I'm very excited. Somebody's behind on their schedule, Chad.
Girl,
right.
I got shit to do tomorrow. I am not packed. I am behind on work. And you're going to read Daybell's letters. So
well, there's only 2.
I know, but
it's not going to be very long.
You're screwing
And you can yell at
life
Chad because
I gotta hear it.
His release. Oh, we're going to release these every Tuesday and Thursday or whatever. No, lies. I haven't done this in 2 weeks. I should have had 4 stories. I got 2. Whatever. I'm still going to have a show
Are you
tomorrow.
surprised he lied?
No.
Okay.
Just shows his character. All right. You say you're going to do something, Chad. Do it. Now, you guys, at 9 p.m. Eastern tomorrow night, we will be debuting our show, TMI, Too Much Internet, to all of our followers. It's a laid-back, fun show where our staff has scoured the internet looking for the craziest, funniest, and bizarre corners of the internet to share with all of you. Now, we do this show for our members every Friday, but the first Friday of every month is for all of our followers and subscribers. You won't want to miss it. I'm going to be there. Elbow Feet's going to be there. Amos and Lady in Gray is going to be on that one as well. And we're very excited to do that. So be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss when we go live or drop an episode. Now, is there anything you would like to say before we go and sign off?
Well, I'm excited. I'm not on this show and I'm not a member. So I get to watch the show tomorrow night. So I get to be in the chat.
It's going to be good.
And I'm kind of excited, but I mostly want to thank everyone for joining us tonight live. I also want to thank those who watch this on replay. I know I am really bad about saying thank you to everybody who watches us later.
Yes, replay crew, we love you.
I know we love you. And for those that are listening on the podcast, your support really means a lot to us. I mean, it does. Oh, look at that. Miss, let's see, is it Amos or Amos? How am I feeling about her right now? Okay, Miss Amos has gifted 5 True Crime and Wine Time memberships. I am sad. This is my last time on camera for a couple of weeks. But I will be recording videos and different things that we can share with members, share with everybody. I will definitely try to pop in when I can. And for those of you that are not aware, I will be tromping through Finland, Austria, and Paris.
Yes.
and hoping that I follow all of my safety tips that I've been giving on midday missing, because there are some things going on over there that we need to be careful of as
Sure.
we travel. So until next time, I'm going to stay safe. I want you all to stay safe. I don't need to come back to any of our lovelies having issues. Okay. I can't handle that. And most importantly, enjoy your wine time, because I am going to be drinking a whole lot the next couple of weeks.
Well, thank you everyone for listening and supporting us. Until next time, take care of your mind, take care of each other, and never stop asking the hard questions. Now, as I always say, go forth and be amazing. Bye.
Bye, guys.